done that have been super historic. I want to get into the first one with Barrinton Levy, right? Like you have a couple of Barrinton Levy.
Yeah.
There's the first one that y'all had with Chaos,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is at first when we thought Chaos was from Van City because he used to roll with y'all so heavy. So even before we get to the Barrinton Levy, let's do Chaos.
First off, don't say we because I thought y'all niggas was from Toronto.
You
I'm
guys
not
are
even
from
gonna
Toronto?
count. I thought they were from Toronto. I don't know about anybody else, but I thought y'all was from Toronto from the longest time, fam. So
Yo, but we Toronto adopted us, so we are from Toronto
yeah,
too.
there you go. I'm
know
cool
what
with that shit.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like
How'd you guys link with Chaos? Like, because you guys had like a close knit for a while.
How do you link with Barrington?
so, again, so with Chaos, back in the day, we'd come out here and all these artists, like we'd start doing the shows because at the time, you know, we were just kind of getting the baton from like Dream Warriors and those guys. So we were like the fresh young cats on the scene. So all the artists would come out to the shows. You know, the Ghetto Concepts, the Cardis. Back then it was the Circle. The Chaoses, and you know the Ghetto Concepts, and so we just, you know, after the show we'd hang out, we'd talk to people, and you know we just started really becoming cool with like the Circle guys and like Card. We were actually cool with everybody, Ghetto, and you know Kevin Chaos. He was super dope. Like back then, like all this singing and Champagne Papi will tell you this. Chaos is the act, because I heard you guys talking about this earlier about now how music, it's like in a space where like you don't if you're singing or rapping or whatever. And then while you were saying that, I'm thinking in my head, you know why? A lot of people are gonna say Drake made that happen. But Drake will tell you Chaos made that happen. Socrates will tell you Chaos made that happen.
Holy fuck, hold on. Air horn's coming.
So Chaos is this guy, like, he would just have these crazy melodies and then bust these crazy raps. And back then, nobody was doing that. I never heard that before. So like I was really geeked out on him. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so you know, every time we'd come out, we'd just stay in contact and he'd come out to the shows, and you know, then he became like our brother, and like, and he came out to Van.
Well, Saul eventually started managing.
Yeah. So I was about to say we started our own label because back at this time, that's what everybody like Wu-Tang and all these other cats was just coming with their own label thing.
Master P.
So we're like, yo, we gotta start our own label. And so we, at first, it was called Figure 4, and we would just sign cats as managers first, and you know, try to get them signed direct or put some stuff out through our own Figure 4. And so the first two artists that we signed was Chaos and Cardinal.
History.
So that's how, you know, that's what was going on around the Northern Touch time. So around that time, that's how, you know, Chaos ended up on Really Living. Top of the World.
Top of the World.
And Cardi ended up on Northern Touch. At the time we did Northern Touch, the only people in that video that had record deals were the Rascalz. That song, all of those artists were already on the map in the streets. All of those artists without that song would have eventually gotten record deals. And eventually did their thing. That song kind of just put it on highlight for the people in the positions, the gatekeepers and the executives, that, yo, Rascalz is getting all this traction and all this whatever, and there's a bunch of other guys out there too, just as dope, if not doper, who wide open.
This N-word is being humble, guys. That song helped all them guys a lot.
Everybody got a deal from it.
No offense to anybody on that song. That song helped all those guys. Don't get it twisted, bro.
So even when we did Top of the World, Chaos didn't have a deal at that time.
Helped him a lot.
And
too.
so how that song came about was, so we went down to back then they used to have this, what are they, summits? Or what they used to call them? Summits? Hip hop summits all throughout the States and stuff like that. We went there, and you'd get swag and CDs and all this other stuff. And that's where you go meet artists or try to do showcases for execs in the States and all that other stuff. So we went down there. And then we came home, and one of my favorites, Barrinton song was always Indiana's Calling.
And I'm gonna be there.
So I had rewritten that whole song in my head and had the song. And on our way back up, we were getting ready to work on a new album. Was at home one night because this guy would always be digging through CDs and records. You started picking up some of those habits. So I was just clicking through a CD, and I heard that boom, 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 like the beginning.
Yeah.
So we found that sample. I made a little whack beat, played it for Chemo. It's like, yo, this is trash. The sample is dope, but I'm gonna remake it. And so we made the beat, and then I started singing the Indiana Wants Me song that I had in my head, and it fit perfect. So this Chaos isn't on the song at this time. It was just, we had the hook, and I think we wrote a couple verses for it. And so Saul, our manager, was like, yo, this is dope. Everyone was like, yo, this is dope. So we're like...
And sorry, salute to Saul Guy, by the way. Legend.
AKA the genius. So we're like, yo, Chemo I was singing the hook. Chemo was climbing me like, yo, we got to find somebody to sing the hook. Red Sox. Can't sing this hook. Can't sing. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we're like, who are we going to get? And we're thinking. Saul G goes, why don't we just get the original guy? And we're thinking, ooh, Barrinton? How are you going to get Barrinton Levy to sing this song? So not realizing at the time, we're actually signed to a major label. So
just ask him.
Just made a call to the label. Was like, yo, we need Barrinton for this song. The label did their thing, whatever. I remember it was like yesterday.
Hold on, Red. Because you guys were young. You guys were just not realizing all the shit you just have in front of you, your resources. We're signed. Hey.
It literally was that easy. Like, we were just like, why don't we get the real guy? And we're like, how are we going to do that?
We're signed.
Call the label.
So Jesus made the call to the label. Like, yo, we need Barrinton Levy.
The label's probably like, yes.
Yeah.
So he comes up here. That day, we're rolling around with him all day. All these DJs knew he was coming, so they had hollered and said they want dub plates. So the first part of the day, we're just following him around to studios, and he's just making G's. And the guys are just like, I want Black Roses. I want Under Sensi. I want this. I want that. And
wow.
they're just like, he probably left there with a wad. He probably left with like $15,000, maybe 20. I don't know.
So sick.
Like, wad. At the end of the day, he even gave us some money. So after running around with him all day and just watching him sing all these classics and dropping dub plates for all these sounds in Toronto, we're just like, yo, this is crazy. And Chaos was just with us that day. And
that's just wild.
so we go, no. Actually, at this point, Chaos was with us all the time. So before we went out Barrinton, we put Chaos' first song. So then we go to the studio to do Barrinton Verse. And honestly, if you ever listen to this song, it goes like this. At the top. So literally, this guy goes in the studio. So we go and I do my thing. Chaos does it. We're just like, yo, I'm sitting next to Chaos. This guy goes in smoking a cigarette. He says nothing. He just goes, because from the smoke goes, at the top. In New York. And just one time, yo, I just remember looking at Chaos and he's looking at me. And I swear it felt like the energy and just hearing this, it sounded like it was already mixed. It was crazy.
You're already listening to the record, basically.
One time.
It was already mixed and mastered.
It was, you know when you smoke weed and you're just laughing and you can't stop laughing inside? It was just one of those. This was the first time I ever felt this feeling in the studio where before the song is done, just hearing him start, you know, oh, we got
That's the feeling of we got one.
you know what I'm saying? He started like, oh, because it was crazy. I've never been in another situation.
I recall
That's
after his
crazy.
take, I'm listening to it. I'm like, yo, there's some parts that are distorted. Could he do it again? And everybody's looking at me like, nah, fuck that.
Nah, it was like
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
One take,
There was some mild
cigarette in
distortion.
his hands, puffing away, doing this Barrinton skank. Just like, I've never been in a session. I guess I would relate that to when people say they were in the studio with Jay and he just goes in and he hasn't written anything. He listens to the beat for a sec and he one take just lays down a whole verse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Being amazed like that. Because like if I was in the studio with Jay and he did that, I would be amazed. You know what I mean? So being able to witness Barrinton lay it down like that was like, and to this day, I've never seen or felt that feeling or vibe in the studio ever.
Well, that's classic shit, man. Glad y'all made it to the end of this video. And if you like this video right here, we got a couple more for y'all to choose from right here. And make sure to like and subscribe, okay? And make sure to share this video to a friend and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the We Love Hip Hop Network is the leading network in Canada. Cheers!